Hi, and welcome to this episode of Clickteam. In fact, this whole week, maybe even fortnight, we're going to learn the dark arts of Clickteam. It is going to be an exciting time because I think a lot of you out there will not know that Clickteam can do the stuff we're going to talk about over the next 10 days, so this week and next week. So I'm really looking forward to going through some elements of Clickteam that, as a game programmer, you will have not even had a clue about how it does this or that it does this, and hopefully you'll sit there and go, oh, hang on, that actually would be quite useful. So I'm going to try and come up with a situation where you will want something automated and we're going to get Clickteam to do it. That simple, okay? I also am going to be filming these every single day. So I film these in the morning UK time, and then I release these 5 o'clock UK time. So if there are suggestions of other things that you know, non-game related, that Clickteam can do, please write them in the comments, because I live and breathe your comments at the moment. The whole point of doing this series is just to have a bit of fun and sort of build up a little bit of a community. And we're already starting to go down that road. We've got some really, really great ideas already coming in about maybe having a little bit of a fun project week where we all try under some parameters to create a game like a game jam, and then what I can do is go through each of them on this channel. That sounds like a really great idea, but I don't know whether we've got the community yet for that, but we shall give it a go maybe and see what happens. But you can see that I'm in this studio. I've tried to transition this channel down to the professional studio I've got in the garage rather than up in my office, so we can have a bit more, I don't know, high production budget or something. I don't know. I've not used this computer with Clickteam before. In fact, I have. It used to be the one that used to be up in the office. But anyway, so if there are some issues or anything, then please forgive me. But anyway, today's video, we are going to be renaming files in a folder. Okay, it doesn't sound exciting, but trust me, when you've got thousands of files and you need to slightly rename them because that you're building a Plex server or something like that, instead of going online and finding an application that does it, which takes me about an hour to research and to find it and make sure it doesn't have any viruses, you can do it yourself in 10 minutes. Let's have a look how. Let's get going. So I've got a blank project. Now, something to mention is I've got 2.5, I've got the developer, and I've got the plus version. So if there's features that you're like, hang on, that's not in mine, you might need to upgrade. I try my best to avoid the developer stuff and the plus stuff where possible, or highlight the fact that it's, with the plus stuff, the main thing I do is the child events, but I don't think I'm going to be using them today, but I will tell you, hopefully, if I remember. So, first thing we're going to be using, I'm hoping this isn't a developer only thing, it probably is, no my luck, but we're going to look at files, right? And we're going to be using the tree control. Now the tree control is really, really basic object. It just shows you what is in a folder. Now I've created a folder under the C drive. I've just called it my folder, right? And so it's just C and then my folder, okay? So I'm going to copy that, and we're just going to view that in, I don't know what this is doing. You can see this is new, right? It doesn't, yeah, anyway. So we're going to do at the start of frame. Where are we? Start of frame, and we're just going to load in the file, right? Explore path. Now I only want files. There are only files in the path, but I only want the files anyway, so I'm just going to do that. Paste it in, C/my folder, and if I run it here, you're going to see something quite irritating, right? So what do you notice about these files? Dun dun dun. We've got 1, 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is because this object has no understanding of numbers and it just does things alphabetically. And alphabetically, 1 goes first, then 1, 0, then 1, 1, then 1, 2, and then 2, and then 3, okay? So that is an alphabetical. Ugh, horrible. So I need a way of fixing this. And the way of fixing it, I've decided, is to put zeros before each of the numbers. So 0, 0, 1, or 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 0, 2. So alphabetically it would be the same as numerically, right? How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that with a beautiful object that Clickteam has called the file object. Oh, this object. Now, this is one of those objects that if you put it on the storyboard, You're not going to see anything, okay? So the object is there only for its functionality in the event editor, okay? So it doesn't do anything with the frame editor. But what we can do with this is we can actually rename things. How cool is that? So I'm going to just do a quick event, start a frame, and I'm just going to rename something. So I'm just going to rename a file, and I'm going to pick a file. And so I've got my extension here, right? C/my folder, and I'm going to just pick file 1, which is just blank text ones. In fact, so I do file 1. Yeah, why not? Okay. Actually, I'm going to do file 9 because then we can see that it's done alphabetically. Blah blah blah. And I'm going to / and then my file 9. Now, if you're used to HTML, I'm just going to pause it a sec. So my neighbours, I live down a cul-de-sac. I live at the end of a cul-de-sac, and my neighbours love to like just rev their engines for no reason. But anyway, probably I think they're going now, which is good. Okay, so that's the file. So whenever you name a file to rename, you always have to start from the start. Okay, so if you're not sure, on Windows you can just click up here and just copy that, and then / and this. If you're used to HTML, you're used to / like that. It's always backslashes on Windows. Okay, it's just one of the differences between the two. Right, copy that, because when you have a new name for file, you might name it this. In fact, I've just got too many. So you might go, oh, okay, I'm going to name it, I don't know, 09, right? That's what I'm going to name it. Okay, but the name of the file is from the very start of the system, right? So it has to include the C and the my folder and that, okay? So you can get caught out because it will move that file to wherever you name it, okay? So it won't even be in the C directory. It will create a new directory called the myfile9.txt directory, and you're going to get into all sorts of problems. Okay, so we're going to say at the start, just put a 0 on it and then run. And it doesn't look like anything's happened. But if we go back to here, we can see that it's now renamed it with a 0. How cool is that? So let's put the two things together. So we're going to need to have a loop, and I'm just going to deactivate this line. And we're going to have a loop for every file that the file object or the tree object's found. So we're going to have we'll get number of objects. I always stare at it intently for about half an hour. So get item count. So we don't want folder count because there are no folders. So get item count. We actually need the name of the loop, duh. So files, right? And then tree control item count. And then we're going to do on loop. Nice and simple. And we're just going to go through all the files, right? Okay. So the first thing I want to do is check that it is what I hope it is, right? So I'm going to do the string object, and I'm just going to output it to the string object because I don't actually want to rename a whole load of files if I've got them wrong. That would not go down well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say get the ultrable, change ultrable string, get the ultrable string that it's currently at, then put a new line on it. So new line, strings, where are we? Strings, new line. And then what I want to do is output the name of the current file. So file selector, is it file selector? I have no idea. Oh no, I'm on the wrong object. Duh. Right, so get text from index. I think it's get text from index, I would imagine. And then the index will be the fast loop. So files. Now, I'm kind of making this up as I go along because I haven't used this object for a while. So that's why you always check it. And you can see it's beautiful. So, but it doesn't get the full directory. So we know we're going to have to put in the full directory. So it's not going to be just that. And that's why we check things, really. Check that it's what we want. And I'm just going to get the full directory from here. And I'm going to have like a backspace as well so that we can have the file after it. And let's just check that that's all nicely. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so that's going through all of them, which is great. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to get the number. So we'll need a string parser. Now, the string parser, I think you need to have, like a, is it developer account for a string parser? I think. I know you have to upgrade something to get a string parser. So what the string parser does In fact, we're just going to, oh no, we can use the same one. And we're going to try and chop this up. So the string parser will let us chop this up into bits, right? And the bit I don't want is the dot text. Okay, so I'm just going to put the string parser, so list tokening delimiter, add a delimiter, and we're going to say, right, chop it by the dot text bit. Okay, chop it down there. Now, we also need another string parser because we want to chop it twice because we want to get rid of the my file bit, right? And we're going to add the text delimiter. And we're going to have the my file bit, right? So we want to get rid of that as well. Okay, so we just want the number of the file, right? And so on this loop, and I'm just going to put this out a bit. So I'm going to first of all load the file bit, this bit here, into the string parser. So set source string, set it to that. Okay, so that will chop off the dot text. And then we need to put the output of that, and we want to get the first element and put it into the second string parser to get rid of the my file bit, right? So we're just left with the number, okay, which is what we want. So we're just going to have the last, I think it's the first element, weirdly, even though you would think it would be the last element, but it's the first element. Because if I show you, when we chop this up, we're left with the first element. Because if I put in the number 1 into the string parser, right? The first element would be this one, the second element would be this one, right? But because I've chopped up here, there is only the first element, right? And then when we chop it up here, there isn't an element before it, right? So the first element is just going to be the number, right? I hope. This is why we check things. Let's have a look. So this should just be numbers. And it is just numbers. And ignore the C/, but it's just the numbers. So we've grabbed the numbers, which is good. I'm just going to remove that just so I can show that we've just got the numbers from each of the files, right? So we've just got the numbers, and we've got this text because I should clear the string at the start frame. Beautiful. Okay. So now we want to rename these, right? So I'm gonna grab the bit here, and we're going to do the whole renaming thing, right? So rename a file, and we're going to have the file we're currently working at, and then we're going to rename it to the bit that we want to rename it to. Right, so I'm going to do the second bit first just because it's easier. So I'm going to have the my file bit first, and then the dot text, dot txt. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab what we put in. So this is the original file name, right? So it's just the original file name, but we've got to be careful because we don't have the first bit. I think I'd closed that folder down, but anyway, I've just opened it again. So we need the first bit, /, then this will be the dot text, all of that stuff, so that'll be the file name. And we're going to rename that to exactly the same thing, okay? That nothing's going to be different. So / there, we missed out. So if I run this now, nothing will change. So we actually need to do, oh, hang on, we need to put in the other bits as well on that. So, okay. So we need to put in the my file and the .txt as well. That's the whole point of doing this. Oh, that's why. I've done. Yeah, there we go. I'm an idiot. Right, I've already done that. Okay, cool. That's why we check things and double check them. Right. So this is just going to put the same number back in. Now, we don't want the same number back in. What we want is every single number to have a 0 before it, right? So you might think you do this, right? So 0 plus, right? And that will work. If you look at the file, that would be like 0, 1, 0, 2, all of that. But then it would be 0, 1, 0, right? And so the whole point would be nullified. So how do we get it so it keeps it at one number? Or sorry, 2 numbers, shouldn't it be? Well, use a built-in object that Clickteam has called just left, right? extract left substring. Now what this does is we can put in this string here. Okay, so enter string. And we can just, why have I clicked the left? I mean right. And you can just type this in, right? It's the right. Okay, so for the first one, it will be 0, 1, right? So we need the 2 characters, right? We need the 0 and the 1. But when 10 comes in here, it becomes 0, 1, 0, and it's just going to take the right-hand 2 numbers, which will be the 1 and the 0, and it will get rid of that 0. How cool is that, right? This is OP right now. So hopefully running this will work. If not, I might cry. So it doesn't look like it's done anything because this isn't live. This only shows you the files when you've loaded them, right? So let's close that down. And moment of truth, there we go. How beautiful is that? Now, if I deactivate this line, okay, so with the fast loop here doesn't happen because I don't want to rename them again. You can see that these are now in numeric order because we've got these leading zeros. I think I said trailing zeros. Trailing's at the end, leading zeros. Okay, how cool is that? And you can now imagine if you've got like I don't know, Plex directory, and you want to get rid of like elements of your videos, of your home movies, or whatever you're using Plex for. You can just do this all automatically, and you don't need to find anything. And how long has this taken? This has taken, 16 minutes, but a lot of that 16 minutes was me wattling on about other stuff. This has taken no time at all. How quick and easy is that? And that's basically it. Like, that is us having completely revolutionized your understanding of what Clickteam can do. That is a macro that even in Visual Basic would have taken me a lot longer and required me to test it and test it and test it. With Clickteam, I can test it straight away and run it straight away. And you can build a fully featured exe file and put it up online and call it the name changer 5000, right? And how easy is that? And you can build the interface things. We might do a video on like the interface things, like select boxes and stuff that you can put in. And you can make a professional application right here. How cool is that? Right, we're going to just extend it slightly because say if you've got 100 things, it's gonna circle back to 0, 0, right? So you want this to be future-proof. Well, you don't get more future-proof than this because if we if we activate this again, all you have to do to make this update with the more, right, is put another 0 here and put a 3 here. That's it. Okay, don't believe me? Well, let's make a file and we're gonna call it, I don't know, 786, right? And so it would show it between the 7 and the 8 normally, right? Let's run the application. And you can see, oh, it does do it at the end. Oh, because they're all leading zeros, right? But you might think, oh, is this going to work? Absolutely, it's going to work. There we are, 001, 002, all beautifully updated with the new numbering system. And this has taken me no time at all. It is mad how quickly you can do this stuff with Clickteam. This is the example of the sort of stuff that I'm looking for doing this week. I know what I'm doing tomorrow, and that is it. Tomorrow will blow your mind. Tomorrow is probably the thing that I use Clickteam the most for. And I think the power of an object I'm going to use, if you know it, you probably will know it. What I'm about to do. If you don't know it, it will blow your mind. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like what we do, I say we, it's just me, but anyway, if you like what I do, please subscribe and like this video and all that good stuff. Otherwise, write in the comments below, is this something you had a clue that you could do with Clickteam? If not, what other things do you think, oh well, yeah, but Clickteam won't do that? Maybe it will. I can't find many things Clickteam can't do. So write it in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow's video.